Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be discussing Forza Motorsport's recent update 2.0, going over some of the bug fixes, or rather not fixes, as we might see in a minute. There's far too many to cover all of them, but I'm going to go over the kind of important ones and the things that I've noticed playing it since the update, but also recapping all of the new and returning content that comes with this latest update, including all of the new cars and of course a new circuit. Starting though with what's probably the most important part of Update 2.0, to fix as many of the vast number of bugs and glitches that are in this game as possible, to make the game more playable and less crashy, or playable at all, for some players who really haven't been able to do anything on this game. Here on screen the patch notes will have been running through in the background. Not everything will be listed here, but they actually said over 200 bugs have in theory been fixed in this update, but this is Forza, so the first time I loaded up after the update, my Aston Martin DBS had no textures at all on it and was bright pink for a couple of seconds, which is something I've noticed before. Not a game-breaking bug, but good to see that they've fixed everything, isn't it? So yeah, there are still many bugs and glitches, as we expected. They weren't pretending to have fixed everything. But yeah, particularly some of the obvious problems with car models, which they said were fixed, in fact aren't. So it's fine that they couldn't fix everything. There's a lot wrong with this game. They maybe shouldn't have launched it so soon. But some of the things that they say they have fixed, they haven't. So either they think they have, or they're just making things up. I'll leave that up to your imagination. But anyway, a lot of the things that they've supposedly fixed are harder for me to test, because they require you to go and upgrade cars, which, as we know in this game, can take many hours with the excellent new upgrade system that they've implemented. Only one car was specifically mentioned as being fixed here, the 718 Cayman, which apparently showed as having no roof if you looked at it sort of up from interior view in Forza Vista when you applied the sort of first roll cage option. That isn't fixed though, and given it's the only thing that they've specifically mentioned is fixed, it might have been an idea for them to check that it actually had been before they released the update. I'm also not surprised to see that I still can't import any of my vinyl groups or liveries from Horizon 5. From all other previous titles is absolutely fine, but not from Horizon 5, which is where anything that's worth having is, because all the stuff from older games that I made is pretty terrible. Now, to be fair, this wasn't in the patch notes, so I didn't expect this to be fixed in the update. However, I don't know why it wasn't. Despite it being reported by so many people over on the Forza forums, it still isn't even listed in the known issues, other than as an issue for Steam players, which it clearly isn't. It's clearly across all platforms, reading through all of the things that people have posted on there and the problems they're having, and it seems to keep getting grouped in with different livery and vinyl group problems rather than getting its own thread, which I don't really understand. Not being able to even look at what's available to sync, let alone import, is a huge problem. So it'd be really nice if Turn 10 would at least acknowledge that this is a problem, because if they don't, we're going to have to start making stuff again on here, which, given this livery editor is not as good as the one in Horizon 5, with many features missing, would be really nice not to have to do. It's not all bad news though. One thing that I have noticed is that since the update, in private multiplayer, I can now see liveries on all of the cars, not just my own, or a random selection of others, which is kind of nice, I suppose. Not exactly game fixing, but an improvement's an improvement. Some people also seem to no longer have a glitch that makes the cars in front of them get affected by your car's dirty air, which, yes, that was apparently a thing that they had managed to get wrong. They also appear to have fixed the problem where the wheels wouldn't paint properly on certain cars. As for sort of general game stability, it's not actually mentioned anywhere in the release notes as being improved, but so far since the update I've only had the game crash once, during a featured multiplayer race just after qualifying before I loaded into the race, which to be fair is a problem the game seems to have had for ages. So stability hasn't really improved. It seemed to improve quite a lot after update 1.1, but it's not too bad either at the moment. So yeah, there's many bugs and glitches still in this game. They've got a long way to go. It doesn't seem like much is fixed. As well as all of the bug fixes, or supposed bug fixes that haven't fixed anything, there is of course some new content as well. The only new content that we could access straight away was of course the new track, the reworked and updated layout of the Yas Marina circuit, which they updated in reality fairly recently to kind of promote better racing, and is now here in Motorsport in virtual form, reworked and updated as it was in reality. I did notice though that whenever I was on this track, I had extremely high disk usage playing on PC. Not just loading into it, which I was seeing before, but also whilst racing, which I find a little bit odd. It was kind of a bit all over the place. This circuit though, as well as being available in free play, is also apparently in some of the Builders Cup events in the campaign. I'm not entirely sure which ones until I start racing through them, because it doesn't give you a sort of preview of the tracks, but that will be mixed into some of the events that are in there. Certainly some of the new ones, but potentially some of the older ones as well. Which brings me on to those new Builders Cups, which are now available after a couple of days of the update launching. Some of them are at least. Firstly, there's the Prestige Tour in the featured section with 4 new cups, as we knew there would be, that will be available week by week, with the first one available by the time you're seeing this video. Along with these, there'll be a new Spotlight cars available for purchase in the Auto Show. The first week is the beautiful and absolutely lovely Aston Martin V12 Vantage, which you saw me driving at Yas Marina there, because of course I'm going to drive that as soon as I can. The second week's Spotlight cars will be the Lamborghini Aventador Super Veloce and the brand new Mazda MX-5 Cup. Then in the third week we'll get the Bugatti Veyron Supersport. Then in the fourth and final week we'll get the Celine S7 LM, which was in Forza Horizon's recent paid pack. So interesting that it's free in this game, meaning it shouldn't really have been paid in that one. But anyway, along with that we get the Spania GTA Spano returning, the MG MG6 X-Power touring car coming over from Horizon, and most excitingly, the Gordon Murray Automotive T50. And if you complete all of these in this section before the next update, you can win the returning Sesto Elemento, which isn't purchasable in the Auto Show, I don't think, so do make sure you go and win this if you want a Sesto Elemento in Forza Motorsport. The other new events are under the new Open Tour, which has an Italian theme, so much cars going up in smoke and breaking down. Again, if you complete all of these before the next update, you can win a returning vehicle, the rather boring, I think, Ferrari 488 GTB. Don't know why you'd want that when the 458's in here, but that's available, that's an option as well. Which, again, this isn't available in the Auto Show, I don't believe, so do make sure you go and win it if you want one of these in your Motorsport garage. The Spotlight cars, though, aren't all of the new additions in the game. There are, of course, also the Car Pass cars, for those of us who bought Ultimate Edition or add-ons or things like that. If anybody missed what those are, the first week will be the Lotus Type 40, which will be available on the 16th of November. Secondly, we'll get the McLaren 720S GT3, available on the 23rd of November. Mercedes AMG GT3, available on the 30th of November. Great to see 2 new GT3 cars. And finally, the Peugeot DG Sport 308 touring car will be available on the 7th of December. So by the time this video goes out, the first of those Car Pass vehicles, the Lotus Type 40, will now be gifted to you if you have the Ultimate Edition or the add-ons bundle. So then, overall, Update 2.0 brings a decent amount of new content with it, including some returning but also some brand new cars, and of course that reworked track. Although, to be honest, the game really did need some more tracks because it was really lacking those at launch, if I'm being honest. And if they can't get the fundamental problems fixed in this game, which it seems they can't, adding more and more content is not going to solve anything. despite them promising new cars and a new track every month, I really just hope they continue to work on these bug fixes, making sure they do actually fix the things that they're saying are fixed, as well as hopefully going and fixing that livery editor problem that I'm having. But yeah, there's so much in this game that needs fixing still. A few things on that bugs list I'm sure did get fixed in this update, but personally I haven't really noticed anything so far that's groundbreaking that's been fixed. So yeah, I don't really know, given that was the main part of the update. But as I say, the new content that came has been good, so we'll wait to see as we play it through it a bit more, whether more things have been fixed. And like I say, I hope to see more fixes and patches coming in the next update, but hopefully also some interim ones in between. Do let me know what you think of the new Forza Motorsport game, if you've played it, and what you think of the kind of situation with it at the moment. Do you think it's, well, should it have launched working, or... Anyway, do let me know what you think, but for today's video, that is going to be all. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back with the next one very soon.